The 30 Things Vision Agenda for Youth, which is a blueprint for Africa's future, under the patronage of one Charlene Chelagat Ruto. In every generation, there arises a voice that dares to reimagine the future. In Kenya today, that voice belongs to Charlene Chelagat Ruto, a dynamic, articulate, and visionary youth leader whose passion for young people has inspired the national awakening. As the patron of the 30 Things Vision Agenda for Youths, Charlene has dedicated her energy to rallying Kenyan youth, and indeed the youth of Africa, to rise above despair, embrace innovation, and take their rightful place in shaping the destiny of their nations. The 30 Things Vision Agenda is not just another youth program. It is a comprehensive empowerment framework built on the understanding that Kenya's and Africa's future depends on an informed, skilled, ethical, and proactive young generation. The initiative is categorized into three broad pillars, each containing 10 key focus areas, forming the 30-point roadmap that touches every sphere of youth life, from personal empowerment to community development and environmental stewardship. Through this agenda, Charlene is challenging youth to move from lamentation to action, from being job seekers to job creators, from being spectators to decision makers, and from being passive citizens to active nation builders. Her message is clear. Africa's transformation lies in the hands of its youths. Let us explore the 30 Things Vision and understand its pillars and reflect on why it is both timely and transformative. 1. The youth in action. That is unlocking the power within. The first category of the 30 Things Vision Agenda focuses on youth in action, a call for the self-realization, empowerment, proactive participation. Charlene believes that Kenya's youth are not a liability, but a vast reservoir of potential awaiting to be unleashed. This pillar comprises of 10 foundational themes that empower youth to rise, create, and lead. 1 is youth empowerment. Empowerment is the bedrock of transformation. For Charlene Ruto, youth empowerment means more than just access to resources. It means equipping young people with the confidence, knowledge, and tools to determine their own destiny. Youth must be empowered economically through access to credit and training, politically through inclusion in decision-making, and socially through mentorship and opportunities for growth. Empowered youth can challenge social injustices, innovate solutions, and inspire others. This message here is simple but profound. Youth should not wait for empowerment. They should demand it, seize it, and sustain it. Then 2, youth mentorship. No youth movement can thrive without mentorship. The 30 Things Vision Agenda emphasizes building a mentorship culture that connects experienced professionals, leaders, and entrepreneurs while young people seeking guidance. Charlene Ruto has reportedly championed mentorship as the bridge between ambition and achievement. Mentorship transforms dreams into reality. It shortens the learning curve and prevents costly mistakes. Every young person should seek a mentor, and in turn mentor others. As Charlene often notes, the greatest legacy we can give our youth is not money, but mentorship. Number 3 is youth employment. Youth unemployment remains one of Kenya's most pressing challenges. The vision agenda recognizes that addressing it requires a multi-pronged strategy. Skills, training, innovation hubs, apprenticeship programs, and private sector partnership. Charlene advocates for policy that encourages industrial and absorbs more youth through internships and entry-level opportunities. She challenges youth to also create their own jobs by identifying gaps in the local markets and innovating around them. Employment is not only about earning a living, it is about finding purpose and contributing meaningfully to national development. Then entrepreneurship. Charlene Ruto's message to young people is clear. Be creators, not just consumers. Entrepreneurship is a cornerstone of her vision. Because in every idea lies the seed of an enterprise. Kenya's youth population, vibrant creativity, and digital connectivity make it an ideal breeding ground for startups and small businesses. Through initiatives promoting access to funding, business incubation, and training, the 30 Things Vision agenda urges youth to harness entrepreneurship as a path to independence and national growth. From agribusiness to tech startups, Charlene insists that youth entrepreneurship is a new frontier of African prosperity. Number 4 under this category is financial literacy. Financial literacy is empowerment in practice. Many young people fail not of lack of opportunity, but because they cannot manage their resources they acquire. The vision agenda calls for financial education at all levels, teaching youths how to save, invest, budget, and avoid debt traps. Charlene Ruto champions youth financial education drives, emphasizing that a generation that understands money controls its future. With proper financial discipline, today's youth can build sustainable wealth and drive community development. Then youth representation. For too long, decisions affecting youth have been made without youth. Charlene's agenda insists that young people must occupy spaces of power, from student leadership and county assemblies to national boards and parliaments. Representation is not symbolic, it is strategic. It ensures that youth policy reflects actual youth needs. The 30 Things Vision agenda encourages youth to register as voters, run for office, and use their voice in shaping governance. As Charlene says, if you are not at the table, you are not on the menu. If you are not on the table, you are on the menu. That is the point. Education. Education remains the greatest equalizer, but it must evolve with the times. Charlene's vision calls for equality, inclusive, and skill-based education that prepares youth for the modern economy. This means embracing technical and vocational training, integrating digital skills into co-curricula, and promoting innovation and research. Education should no longer be about memorization and about solving real-world problems. The vision agenda reminds us that knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is transformation. Sports and art talents. Kenya's youth are bursting with creativity and talent. From athletics to music, film, fashion, and visual arts. Charlene Ruto champions sports and arts as viable economic sectors, but not just hobbies. By investing in the talent academies, art festivals, and sports infrastructure, Kenya can turn creativity into capital. Youths are encouraged to nurture their talents, remain disciplined, and use them to inspire others. Talent is divine, Charlene affirms, but nurturing it is your own responsibility. Then 9 is Pan-Africanism. Charlene's vision extends beyond Kenyan borders. She envisions a united, self-reliant, empowered African youth that transcends tribal and national boundaries. Pan-Africanism, she says, is not an old idea. It is a living call for unity and shared prosperity among African nations. Through exchanges, joint innovation programs, and cultural collaborations, young Africans can become the architects of a new united continent. As the patron of the Pan-African Youth Movement, Charlene Ruto challenges young people to see themselves not as citizens of small nations, but as builders of Africa. 10 is technology and digital literacy. In the digital age, access to technology defines opportunity. Charlene champions digital literacy as an essential 21st century skill, from coding to content creation, from e-commerce to artificial intelligence. Technology offers limitless possibilities. The vision agenda calls on youth to use technology to develop, not destruction, to build careers, expand knowledge, and connect with global opportunities. As Charlene puts it, digital skills are the new passport to prosperity. The second focus area is the youth and society, that is building health and inclusive communities. The second category of the 30 Things Vision Agenda deals with the youth and society, the moral health and social well-being of young people. Charlene Chelagat Ruto believes that empowered youth must be healthy, responsible, and compassionate citizens. This pillar seeks to heal society from within, tackling issues that hinder holistic development. One focus area is health, menstrual health, and hygiene. Menstrual health is a human rights issue, not a women's problem. Charlene Ruto has been vocal about ending period poverty by ensuring access to sanitary products, menstrual education, and dignity for all girls. She urges young men to also understand and support menstrual health advocacy. The goal is to create a society where menstruation is normalized and no girl misses school because of her cycle. Then sexuality education. Young people need accurate, age-appropriate information about their bodies, relationship, and rights. The vision agenda promotes comprehensive sexuality education to prevent misinformation and protect youth from exploitation and diseases. Charlene emphasizes that empowered youth with knowledge about sexuality does not promote immorality. It promotes responsibility and respect. Then 3 is female genital mutilation, FGM. FGM remains one of the most harmful cultural practices affecting girls. Charlene Ruto stands firmly against it, describing it as a violation of dignity and a threat to women's health and empowerment. The 30 Things Vision agenda calls for accountability and for community education, alternative rites of passage, and strict enforcement to anti-FGM laws. Youth, both men and women, must lead this campaign to protect their sisters and future daughters. Then we have childhood marriages. Early marriage robs children of education and dreams. Charlene Ruto's vision promotes keeping girls in school and empowering communities to reject early marriages. She reminds the nation that investing in girls' education before the entire community, the youth are called upon to be advocates for girls' rights and to challenge traditions that perpetuate inequality. And then childhood pregnancies. Closely linked to early marriages, teenage pregnancy remains a major social concern. Charlene's agenda focuses on prevention through awareness, mentorship, and re-entry programs for young mothers. She believes that every young mother deserves a second chance, that motherhood should not mean the end of education or opportunity. The youth are urged to create supportive communities rather than stigmatize the victims. Then alcohol and drug substance abuses. Addiction is silently destroying youth potential. The Vision Agenda advocates for drug-free communities, rehabilitation programs, and awareness campaigns targeting young people. Charlene also urges youth to replace self-destruction with self-discipline. She says no to drug and yes to purpose. She reminds young youth that sobriety is not weakness, it is a strength. Then mental health action, that is number 7. Mental health is health. The Vision Agenda prioritizes mental wellness, urging schools, workplaces, and families to provide safe spaces for dialogue, counseling, and emotional support. Charlene has spoken passionately about destigmatizing depression and anxiety, encouraging the youth to seek help without shame. She insists we cannot build a strong nation on broken minds. Then inclusivity of young persons with disabilities, that is BWDs. True empowerment leaves no one behind. Charlene Visions embraces inclusion, ensuring that young persons with disability are given equal access to education, jobs, and leadership. The agenda calls for accessible infrastructure, adaptive technologies, and representation of people with disabilities in leadership spaces. Also, inclusion, she notes, is not charity, it is justice. Cyberbullying, number 9. In a digital era, online cruelty can destroy lives. The 30 Things Vision Agenda educates youth about digital responsibility, encouraging empathy and ethical conduct online. Charlene calls for a safe digital space and stronger cyber laws. She urges you to use social media to build, not to break. Others Your keyboard, she says, can be a weapon or a tool. Therefore, choose wisely. Then blood donation. Saving lives is an ultimate act of humility. Charlene Ruto often leads by example, mobilizing youth for blood donation drives to address Kenya's chronic blood shortages. The Vision Agenda promotes a culture of voluntary blood donation as a part of youth civic responsibility. Each pint of blood can save a life, proof that small actions can create big impact. Then the category number 3 is climate change and agriculture, sustaining the planet, securing our future. The third category of the 30 Things Vision Agenda focuses on climate change and agriculture, recognizing the young people are both victims and potential saviors of our planet. Charlene's message to young people is clear. You are the custodians of tomorrow's earth. One is climate change mitigation. Mitigation means reducing the causes of climate change, particularly greenhouse gas emissions. Charlene encourages youth to plant trees, embrace clean energy, and advocate for green policies. Every school, university, and community groups should adopt tree planting as a norm, not as an event. Youths must lead in transitioning Kenya towards the low-carbon economy. Number 2 is climate change adaptation and resilience. While mitigating tackles causes, adaptation helps communities cope with the effects. The Vision Agenda empowers youth to engage in climate-smarter solutions, such as flood management, drought-resistant crops, and community awareness campaigns. Resilience means bouncing back stronger. Charlene calls upon youth to be proactive, not reactive, in responding to climate challenges. Then the nature-based solutions. Nature offers the best answers to environmental problems. Charlene promotes eco-restoration, mangrove planting, and biodiversity conservation as a sustainable tool against climate threats. She reminds youth that protecting nature is protecting life itself. In her words, we are not inheritors of the earth, we are its guardians. Then water solutions and management. Water scarcity is one of Africa's defining challenges. The Vision Agenda calls for innovation in water harvesting, storage, recycling, and conservation. Charlene Ruto urges youth to participate in community water projects and to adopt water-saving technologies. In homes and farms, water is life, and managing it sustainably is every generation's duty. Number 5 is smart agriculture. Agriculture is no longer about hoes and shovels. It is about technology and innovation. The Vision Agenda promotes precision farming, irrigation technology, and data-driven agriculture. Charlene inspires youth to view farming as a modern, profitable career, not a fallback option. Smart agriculture means working smarter, not harder. 6 is food security. Food insecurity threatens both peace and progress. Charlene's initiatives calls for a revolution in food systems, empowering youth to produce more, waste less, and innovate throughout the value chain. She reminds youth that food security is not just about farming, it's about sustainable consumption and distribution. Then beekeeping. Beekeeping may seem simple, but it is a powerful source of income and ecological balance. Bees pollinate crops, supporting biodiversity, while honey provides income for rural youth. The Vision Agenda promotes modern apiary practices and youth beekeeping cooperatives. Charlene notes that every beehive is a small victory of hope. Then sustainable energy. From solar power to biogas, renewable energy is the key to sustainable growth. The Vision Agenda urges you to adopt and innovate in clean energy solutions that reduces dependence on fossil fuels. Charlene Ruto's envisions a Kenya powered by the sun and wind, where rural homes and schools are lit sustainably and energy becomes a catalyst for equality. Number 9 is agribusiness. Agriculture is not just cultivation, it is a business. The Vision Agenda teaches you to see agriculture as an enterprise, connecting production, processing, packaging, and marketing. Charlene also advocates for youth cooperatives, digital marketplaces, and access to agri-finance. With the right mindset, youth can turn soil into gold. Number 10 is agro-processing. Value addition is the future of African agriculture. Instead of exporting raw products, youth should invest in processing, branding, and distribution. Charlene Ruto urges the government and private sector to support youth-owned agro-processing ventures through grants, training, and markets. This is how Kenya can transform from a food importer to a food exporter, powered by its youth. Charlene Ruto, therefore, being the patron of the 30 Things Vision Agenda for youths, which is more than a document. It is a movement. It is a call for young people to stop waiting for change and start becoming the change. It challenges the youth to look inward, rise above excuses, and claim their future. The vision's 30 pillars touch every dimension of life: personal empowerment, social responsibility, and environmental stewardship. Together, they can form the complete curriculum for youth transformation in Kenya and Africa, even globally. Charlene's leadership as patron of this agenda demonstrates that youth issues are not peripheral, they are national priorities. Her example shows that with vision, energy, and faith, young people can redefine politics, economics, and society. In her own words, Charlene once said, "Our generation must be remembered as the one that refused to be defined by problems and instead became the generation that solved the problems." That is the spirit of the 30 Things Vision Agenda, to awaken every young person to their divine potential. The time for excuses is over. The time for youth in action, youth in society, and youth for the planet is now.